Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming a first impressions video on the new BPerfect Manifest Dream Big eyeshadow palette. This is what the palette looks like. So if you want to see how I created this look, see some swatches on my tan skin, then just keep watching. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Karen Harris. I like to film tan girl friendly makeup videos here on my channel. When I first started watching YouTube, I had such a hard time finding content from somebody with a similar skin tone to me, so I did decide to take matters into my own hands and start up my own YouTube channel. So if you like first impressions, seeing things swatch on a skin tone like mine, especially if you have a skin tone similar to mine, I would highly recommend subscribing to my channel, turning on that post notification bell. I am trying to post pretty much every day. I did miss last weekend, so I keep saying like I'm posting pretty much every day-ish just to be accurate, because I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm totally posting every day, because I already missed 2 days in April, but you know, that's just like a secret between you and I. But anyway, definitely subscribe, turn on that bell so you are notified every time I post a new video. And without further blabbering, let's get into it. So BPerfect is not a new to me brand. I have 2 of their previous palettes. I originally bought the Carnival Pro palette. This was the second one that they launched in collaboration with Stacey Marie, and so many of my YouTube friends were raving about this palette, so I did go ahead and purchase that. I will say I haven't used this one as much as the next palette I want to show you guys, which is the Carnival 3. This is the Love Tahiti palette, which they launched last year in collaboration with Stacey Marie, and this was my best eyeshadow palette of 2020. So they have some big shoes to fill. When I purchase from BPerfect, I'm expecting something that's going to blow my mind. So I believe they had a different palette that they launched that was an eye and face palette. I did pass on that one, but when I saw that they were launching another 35 pan eyeshadow palette, I was pretty excited to go ahead and check this out. Now, the shades that really caught my attention were definitely the grungy shades in this palette. I just automatically knew I was going to purchase this, and they did say that they included a few different textures in this palette. So I did swatch this, and I want to show you guys the close-up swatches. So let's go ahead and get into that. So I just want to share a little bit of information about the palette. It's called the Manifest Dream Big Palette. It's currently available on the BPerfect website. I'm assuming that it will come to Beauty Bay at some point. I'll try and keep you guys updated in my community tab section on my YouTube channel. The palette does retail for £29.95. It has 35 striking eyeshadows to dream even bigger and manifest your perfect look, serving 7 sickening formulas to take your look to the highest level with intense pigment and ultra blendability. So according to BPerfect, there's 19 deeply pigmented mattes, 90s, hustle, positive, sneak peek, selfie, rave, goals, mega, gratitude, Murphy's, vibes, Lele, Bondi, Squad, Stories, Wing It, Triple, Inspire, and Inked are the 19 matte shades. There's 6 rich pressed pigments, Believe, Insta, and Bundy, Benji, and Macaroni. And then 2 duochrome foil shimmers, Manifest and Lily. 5 super sparkle shimmers, 11 Journey, Shrek, Old School, and Honor. 1 shimmer cream base called Driven, and then we have 1 matte cream base called Boss Man, and 1 shimmer gloss topper called Hope. So that is kind of the breakdown of all of the different textures in this palette. I hope you guys are enjoying these swatches. And now that you've seen the swatches, let's go ahead and get into how I created this look. Okay guys, so I'm going to film the demo portion of this video. I have swatched this palette already, so it was really fun because the mattes are so pigmented. There's some beautiful metallic textures. There's also a cream to powder shadow called Boss Man right here. I was definitely taken aback by that, and yeah, there's a few more creamy metallics. These 2 metallics, and I already got, can't see the name of the shade. I think it's Macaroni. Those 2 shades kind of remind me of the shimmer texture in the Alien Cosmetics Serendipity palette. So there's so much more variety and texture in this palette that I'm so surprised by, but low-key, like the grungy green shades really call my name in this palette. There's Hustle, there's a shade called Shrek, I think, with a C, and then this beautiful shade called Believe. But you guys know when I see a shade like Journey, which is like a teal, green, blue, I feel like I have to put it on my lids, and there's a great matte teal shade called Stories that I feel like I'm gonna put on my lid. So even though I have tons of shades to choose from, I feel like I'm just gonna use 3 eyeshadows. I'm probably gonna use Stories all over the crease. I'm gonna deepen it up with the shade Inked, and then probably just put Journey all over my lid, and maybe if I'm feeling really frisky, I'll put Believe in my inner corner. But that's kind of my plan after swatching this palette. Oh my gosh, it's just so exciting to me. I was definitely nervous, like 35 shades. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope there's not any duds. But just from swatches, I didn't feel like there was. And there are no pressed glitters in this palette, which I really appreciate. And I know a lot of you will as well. So usually I don't talk this much when I'm filming a demo, but those are some of the thoughts I had after swatching the palette, so I just wanted to share those with you guys right away. My lids are prepped with my Juvia's Place One Prep One Prime, I think is what that's called, and that's been working really well for me. And then I just grabbed this Wet n Wild blending brush that I got from like a holiday brush set a couple of years ago, and I'm just going to use that to apply the shade Stories all over my crease. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty! This is blending so nicely, and I'm using a big fluffy blending brush, and it's not applying like patchy or anything like that. And I've noticed with the Juvia's Place primer that it's really good about that. So I would say it's definitely the eyeshadow working really well with the primer. Okay, so I feel like that green shade applied stunningly. Now I want a smaller blender. So I'm going to grab this ColourPop. This is an E21 brush. It's like a tiny little blending brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Inked, which is honestly, it swatched almost like it was a plum, but I think it's supposed to be a black shade. Either way, I think it's the best shade for me to use in this palette to deepen up my crease. Yeah, I think it's a black. I swear there's so many plums in that last row that I was like probably just confused. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of Hustle, which is like a beautiful grungy green shade, and I'm going to tuck that right in over the black shade. I've only seen one other video on this palette, and it's by Makeup Missa. She is, I think, from Ireland. I always get this mixed up. I'm so sorry. I know you guys will tell me. But she is, I believe, from Ireland, and she got this palette in PR. And her eye looks are amazing. I swear one day I'm just going to sit and like try, just like attempt to do an eye look like hers, because I just don't have the skills to do an eye look like that, and I would love to become better. She does these big winged liner looks, and it's just, I mean, out of this world. Anywho's, this blended really nicely. You guys know me, I love to blend. The more seamless, the better. I swear I overdo it though. I overthink the whole thing. Like, it's fine, you know? Okay, now I'm so excited because I get to put the most beautiful shade on my lids. It's called Journey. And I just picked it up with this flat brush. I didn't spray the brush. I just want to see how it's going to pick up. These metallics are so creamy in this palette, so I'm very excited to play with this. I think I'm going to do a 3 looks video with this palette. I have a few other palettes coming my way in the next few days, so I don't know how soon I'll be able to get a 3 looks video done. But I just filmed one. I just finished filming my 3rd look with the Kaleidos X Angelica Nyquist palette, and I'm going to post that on the 14th of April because that's when the palette is restocking. So I'll post it before the restock in case you guys wanted to see like what kind of versatile eye looks I can get with that palette. And then this will probably be towards the end of April or middle of April that I'll probably be able to get 3 looks done, because I have a few newer palettes coming in that I'd want to probably at least do a first impression on the channel. This shade is so stinking pretty. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna try my finger. Oh, you guys know. Look at my green nails and this green eyeshadow. Like, you know I love green, right? Like, this is not new information if you guys have been around on my channel. And I'm trying to keep like the very inner corner a little bit blank because I want to throw that like chartreusey green shade in. But I think that looks good. And then, ooh, this is the perfect brush. It's like a flat brush, E20 by ColourPop. I'm gonna go into the shade Believe, which is like a light green, and I'm just gonna start tucking that in to the very inner corner. Oh, that's so pretty. So I have to go to my father-in-law's birthday party tonight. I'm thinking I'm just gonna rock this eye look. Like, it's not like this big old birthday party. I think it's just family. But I'm like that person, you know, that family member that just like shows up with whatever makeup. But they all know I have a YouTube channel, so it's fine, it's fine. So I'm gonna take that little brush that I use for the black, and I'm just gonna tap some black on the outer corner just to blend everything. I feel like a chameleon. So my eye look is basically done. I'm just gonna finish off the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back to show you guys the final look and give you some of my first impression thoughts on this palette. Okay, so this is the final look. You know I had to use all the green eyeshadows in this palette. I love green eyeshadow. Everything else on my face and my earrings will be listed down in the description box. Those will most likely be affiliate links, so thank you so much if you use my affiliate links to shop. It does go right back into my channel and it really helps me out, so thank you guys for that. Now, as far as my first impression thoughts are on this palette, I will say, first of all, the size difference is kind of awesome. It's a little bit smaller than the Carnival 3 palette, which I think is a good change. I think this is probably more like their Clientele palette, which was a collaboration with a different makeup artist. I forgot to grab that one. I'm so sorry. While I was showing you guys all of their palettes, I forgot about the Clientele palette. Anyway, these both have a 24-month shelf life, just so you know. So that's similar to the last palette I've tried from them. And this is PETA approved. It says here on the back. And the net weight of this palette is 63 grams. And on the Carnival 3 palette, it's actually 64 grams. So very similar layout and design. It's just a little bit smaller of a palette. This is so nice because it has like a lot number and like batch numbers and things like that, which I think really shows that they put a lot of thought into creating these palettes. I was trying to look on the packaging to see if it says where the palette is made. I'm assuming it's PRC because that's where the Carnival 3 palette is made, but I'm not 100% sure. If I do find it somewhere, I'll put it on the screen. Otherwise, I'm just gonna assume that it is made in the PRC just because that's my experience with BPerfect. But other than the size, I'm actually really excited to continue playing with this palette. Like I said in the demo, I would really like to create a 3 looks 1 palette video with this particular palette because there's 35 shades, so I think the possibilities are pretty much going to be endless, and you guys will have to let me know if you would like to see that down in the comment section. But overall, I am very excited to continue playing with this palette. I love that they incorporated different textures, stuff I haven't seen in a lot of other palettes. Like I know Huda Beauty has included different things in her palette, and of course Natasha Denona's cream to matte formula is one of my favorites, but I actually feel like this palette does have some of those interesting formulas, and it is a great price. The only thing was the shipping was kind of pricey, but it was DHL, like worldwide express shipping, so I got this palette in like less than a week, which was really impressive. I was so surprised when this palette showed up at my door yesterday. So I'm very happy with the service so far. I'm very happy with the palette so far, and I think the one drawback that is coming to me right off the top of my head is when brands don't like organize shades by like color story or like neutral shades together, I think that does confuse people. So this is definitely like a half neutral, half colorful palette, and I think the layout can definitely get a little bit overwhelming for people. And there's also quite a few like repeat-ish like brown matte shades, which I don't think was that necessary for this palette, but I'm not mad about it. I think it's fun. I think they definitely do like the neutral colorful combination quite often. Like even with this palette, there is a row of neutrals, and that doesn't really bother me at all. I think that just makes the palette really fun. I think these palettes would pair really well together if you already have the Carnival 3 from just hearing me rave about it. But I'm very excited to play with the metallics and the mattes in this palette. So that is kind of it for my first impressions. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video tomorrow. Bye guys!